this video, I'm going to explain why I think Fartcoin goes to a market cap of 50 billion, which would be about $50. It's currently at 41 cents, so I believe it'll go much higher from here, and that's over 100x. And this target may seem crazy right now, but I'll explain why under the right circumstances this is actually a possible target. So first, let's go into what is Fartcoin for those who don't know. It's a community-driven meme coin launched by Truth Terminal. So if you aren't familiar with Truth Terminal is an AI agent who created many coins such as Goatsius Maxius, and he's also created Fartcoin, which is a meme that the community has come together to support, right? So now that we know what Fartcoin is, let's go into what this coin really has that makes a $50 billion market cap possible and realistic. So first of all, the idea you have to understand is the absurdity is the utility, right? With meme coins, the utility isn't something tangible such as profits or revenue. It's something like community and other factors. So the idea is really stupid, to be honest. It's outrageous and unapologetically stupid, and that's what actually makes it genius. And I'll explain why this is actually something that plays an advantage on this coin. And the reason is because it creates something so controversial that the media can't help itself. So the dumber the coin, the hotter the headlines, right? So Fartcoin will end up in newsrooms, TikToks, YouTube thumbnails, and late night TV segments. It already has. I believe there's I don't remember what show it was, but I saw a clip where a late night TV host said that they put all their money into Fartcoin as a joke. And this is because it's so controversial. When something is controversial, it gets more attention. Because if you look at the incentives of people who create content and also news articles, the idea is to get as many clicks as possible. And to get clicks, you want to post something controversial, such as Fartcoin hits $1, crypto investors lose their mind. So every time someone tweets about it and people are thinking this can't be real, it only makes the message and the idea stronger, which creates more attention to it. I mean, we can look at an example, right? I think we're all familiar with Andrew Tate. It doesn't matter if you like him or don't like him, but he became extremely famous because he was controversial, right? Some people like him, some people don't like him. And that aspect of being controversial creates huge attention, and Fartcoin really has that. So basically, let's explain this point a bit further. The funnier it gets, the more it pumps, and this becomes a self-fulfilling flywheel. So here's basically the formula. So if Fartcoin price goes up, so let's just say it goes to, it goes back to $1, right? Then the fact that it's going up is hilarious, and that idea spreads. Media picks it up, right? The people, the KOLs, everyone who creates attention picks it up, and then more people are able to see it, and then they're able to discover it, and this leads to them buying it. Then that makes the price go even higher. So from $1 maybe to like $4. And that cycle basically repeats itself, creating this flywheel of attention growth and price growth. So basically, the higher it goes, the funnier it gets, and the more people buy. Imagine headlines saying, wow, this Fartcoin goes to 10 billion market cap. It flips some of the largest companies not the largest, but some big companies in the stock exchange, right? And people are hearing about it. It creates this momentum. And we've seen it with Doge, we've seen it with Pepe. We know that some of these coins can go to very high market caps. I believe Dogecoin went to almost 100 billion last cycle. So meme coins can do very well, and people know this, which it means, and the best meme coins have had this attention loop of attention and growth, which is exactly what I described here, this flywheel of attention and growth. So it's built to go viral with this loop, right? The next important point to understand is that people are fed up with traditional finance, and Fartcoin is basically a middle finger towards traditional finance, right? And against things like the S&P 500, etc. So the GameStop movement originally showed one thing, that retail is tired of being played, and they're sick of stock manipulation and like the suits pulling the strings, right? Retail wants a chance to win, And meme coins give retail a chance to outperform the investment banks and the hedge funds as it's something they understand, right? We saw with GameStop how well this did. And basically, people like buying what they're not supposed to like, right? There's this big incentive for people to buy what they're not supposed to be buying. And Farcoin is a clear example of something that goes against the traditional values of traditional finance. It's something that can't be thought of numerically and logically, and that creates this sort of rebellion. It brings it to the forefront of this sort of rebellion movement against traditional finance. So it's fighting against this broken system. You don't need permission to buy it, right? There's no broker to approve it, no hedge fund to dump on you first, just you and your wallet. And this makes it accessible towards everyone and really gives it this middle finger towards traditional finance, which is something a lot of people resonate with. We saw it with GameStop, but there's been so many more examples of people who want to do what they're not supposed to do. They're sick of the S&P 500 and the low returns of the S&P 500, right? Like the 12% annually. People need something else, and Farcoin really gives them that vehicle to express themselves. Finally, the one of the most important points here is it's the most accessible crypto in the world, and it has a really high TAM. So for those who don't know, TAM is basically total addressable market. So basically the amount of people who are addressed by this coin and the market for this coin is huge, because you don't need a ledger and understanding of liquidity pools or a background in finance. You just need a sense of humor and a phone, right? This is for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're a high school kid or a retired grandma. Everybody understands what this coin is. And because in a market where simplicity wins, that's gold, right? In a market where we see, Bitcoin going to 200, 300K, it only makes sense that retail comes into the space looking for coins to buy. And a lot of these coins, right, maybe they look here, this Avalanche, Toncoin, Tron, Cardano. They're like, what are these coins? I don't understand what these are, and I don't want to put in the labor and the research needed to understand what these fundamentally are. Something like Fartcoin comes along, and everyone understands it. Everyone knows what this coin is, and everyone gets the message behind it. And that accessibility is huge because it allows retail is going to pour into this coin because they understand it without having to learn a ton about these complicated topics such as liquidity pools. And it also makes it much easier for this to spread, right? It's easier to tell your friend, hey, listen, there's this coin, it's a stupid coin, but it's funny, you should just buy it. Let's see how high it goes, right? It's just funny. Let's take part of this movement. It's much easier to get someone to partake in this community and this coin rather than, pitching them something like Uniswap. You tell someone, hey, Uniswap is a top decentralized exchange on Ethereum. You should buy it because Ethereum has upside, and it only makes sense that the top decentralized exchange accrues value over time as people are trading on the Ethereum network, right? Someone who's new doesn't understand what this means. So having that accessibility matters a ton. It's extremely important, and Farcoin has this, which I believe can make it go much higher. So we went through all the major points of what this coin has and why a $50 billion market cap is possible. Basically, 50 billion comes from half of what Dogecoin reached. So if Dogecoin is able to reach 100 billion in a cycle where meme coins didn't do exceptionally well, you did have, Shiba Inu and Dogecoin do well, but it wasn't really a meme coin cycle. As I believe this cycle will be a meme coin cycle, it only makes sense that some of the top meme coins will perform very well. And Farcoin is one of the biggest ones in the top 10 meme coins, and it should do well, therefore. So what should you do right now, right? I went through all the points of why this coin should do well. So let's look at the chart. It's currently trading quite a lot down from the lows, right? 85%. It went to 2.6 billion. It's currently at 400 million. So I do believe this is a good time to get into this coin. Obviously, this is not financial advice, and everyone can do what they want, but I would recommend this is a good price to be buying it at, especially if you think a $50 coin is actually possible. So yeah, that's it from my side. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe.